All right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First things first, we want to give all praise and honor unto Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Kakwadash.
Kakwadash.
And we give double honors to our apostle elders, which are the apostle elders at Great Millstone, and to you hopeful elect on the four corners of the planet Earth that's pushing, that's fighting, that's pushing towards the goal of salvation, which is coming to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the elect of those tribes, and then also transferring into the 12 tribes of Israel at the end of this thing, man. All right, 2020, the year of prophecy, and things are taking place where we're getting ready to come to a time of straits, man. You know, and Esau's going down day by day, and you know, and the Lord has had a beautiful occasion happen. You know, I came up to see these brothers, the Washington camp, man. So it's a beautiful thing, and then we got GMS Arkansas here also, and
it's coming out.
Yeah, the water.
and then this is a blessed occasion. It says how beautiful it is for brothers to dwell together in unity, man, and to have the spike that was put in the tribes from our father, and for him to ease that back is a great blessing, man. Not just getting this truth, but getting the brotherhood back. That's right there. It says the kingdom of heaven is within you, within us. So this is a kingdom right here. When we get to dwell together, we get to enjoy together, we get to cry together, we get to laugh together, reminisce together. That's a part of us coming to a time where we're gonna live eternity like that. And it's a beautiful thing to witness, man. So we're in a time of hope, man. We're in a time where the Lord has given us the opportunity to look at hope and have that. Even though we have our downs in life, hope is something that don't matter if it's good or bad. Hope is there. You can have, that anticipation of hope, and to have that urge in your mind is beautiful, man. If one of you brothers want to get 2nd Ezra 5 and verse 12, and then a brother get 2nd Ezra 10 and 34. All right, so we waiting on this thing, man. And everybody you see around you, they don't have hope. The more this COVID is coming up, the more this corona vaccine or the vaccine is coming up, they're hoping on the vaccine more than the Lord, man. Mm-hmm. So they can go back to being who knows what kind of demon, man. That's what they're waiting on. They don't waiting on the vaccine so they could, have, oh man, maybe we can change our ways. No, they're waiting on the vaccine so everybody can go back to living that way of wickedness, man.
Mm-hmm. I got. You said 2nd Ezra 5 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
This is 2nd Ezra 5 and 12. It says, "At the same time shall men hope,
mm-hmm.
but nothing obtain,
mm-hmm.
but shall labor, but their way shall not prosper."
Exactly. So you see men that they don't have hope now, man. The hope that they should have, which is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, they don't have, man. They have hope in everything else but the Lord, man. Everybody's hope is fell down. If you don't have the hope in the Lord, it's gonna fall, man. Where they should put their hope in is not there, man. That's why you see people running around. You see the hardest thug. When this pandemic started, I seen the hardest thug wearing masks. It blew my mind. I think they'd be the most stern against it. They do everything to go against the grain, but their lifestyle is not going against the grain. It's with the grain. That showed you that these gangsters and all this, that lifestyle is literally Esau's controlling, because as soon as they said mask, they was with it. They didn't say, nah, but I ain't wearing no mask, man. I ain't wearing no mask, folk. Or saying, they would have had that mentality of going against it, but no, their actions are actually what the devil wants, man.
See, it might have been a good thing for a lot of them to just commit more crimes with the facial recognitions at Walmart and stuff. Now they can't tell who's who. Because, matter of fact, there's a Facebook page out here called Compton Files, right? Because Tacoma's it's like a mini Compton. And you had people that, just stealing, credit cards from people walking in and out of stores. And people were saying that because, they have the mask on as they're walking out. So it's hard to identify people. They said, gee, it'd be a lot easier without these fucking masks on. You know? So it's like that two-edged sword. You would think, people would be like, well, maybe there's another way or whatever. So there is that split, right? But that vaccine, everyone's dying to go back to the clubs, to go to the sports arenas. To go to concerts, to just be around people and do all that, bread and circuses, they want it back.
Yeah. They'll do things for it. That chip, man, they're gonna welcome it. We always said to ourselves, like, damn, people are gonna be lined up, through the spirit. But it makes sense now. Like, shit, I was gonna go. Even if people knew, there's gonna be a time where Christians are gonna be like, you know what? I get it, it's the mark, but damn, they gonna cough it up.
Well, they're gonna treat it like pork. They're gonna say, well, Jesus died for our sins.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna treat it like everything else. Like it's okay, it's not a problem. You know, because their Jesus died for their sins.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey man,
They're gonna treat it like the first covenant. Like their sins are already washed. Like so why we got tripped? Well, our sins is already washed. The blood's already cleansing us. So why not?
Yeah. What's this chip gonna do? They're gonna justify that wickedness, man. They're gonna justify it, man. And that's why the Lord has told us and prepared us these years to constantly endure in the fact of that. What does it say? Repetition is the what? Is the king of learning.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So he constantly has been telling us, Chip. You know, these years, Mike. No, ain't no Chip. You know, it started to come up, but then now we've been engrafted in it, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a father that teaches his son about one fateful war he had to go to since he was born. That one fateful war. You know, he might have been like the son, like, hey man, that war ain't gonna come. And all of a sudden, here comes that day where you see the torches of the enemy on the horizon. And then what is the son gonna do? He got one or two things to do: not go to war, or say, okay, go to your preparation.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the time we're coming to. We're coming to the time of warring with this man. This is gonna be our last hurdle to go through, man. And if you look at it in the spirit, it's not a hurdle to travel, man. To see the destruction of where we at today and in the breakdown of our people, no, this hurdle, we need to approach that and run to it, man, and hopefully go over that thing, man.
Precept real quick. It's Hebrews chapter 6. We'll start at verse 9. It says, but beloved, we are persuaded better things of you and things that accompany salvation, though we thus speak.
And what are some of the things that accompany salvation that we're going to need? The name. That accompanies salvation. Says there's no name under the sun whereby men can be saved, man. So if you take that name away, you take, this is a combination of things. You know, spiritual with the, with the puzzle, with the things, because you need certain things. You have to have certain things to activate other things. I've learned that these few days, man. That concept of you have to have other things, you have to move other things a certain way to get to your purpose and get to that where you need, man.
Yeah, what's that scripture says? You got to be mingled with faith,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have that like the brother said, you got to have that combination.
Another point that you'd like to bring out is a forest. Sometimes certain seeds they can't germinate until that certain heat hits that seed.
Yeah.
So when that forest fire hits it, that's the Most High cleansing it naturally. Pruning. That's natural pruning.
Activating.
He's pruning it to basically cutting the split ends to bring back that new growth, that new hair, whatever, however you want to slice it. So he's just naturally knocking out the old to bring the new.
Yeah. Hebrews 6:10. For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name. Right, yeah, you see? In that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end. That ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises.
And the slothfulness is just, it's not saying, oh yeah, I just chill out and just think, oh yeah, do. No, it's slothfulness in yourself. If you know something, okay, you've been told that you've been everything in around you has been a curse. Everything around you has been to make you feel a type of way. The slothfulness is not attaining and looking what else has been broken down. And your mental has to be, you got to speed that up. It says knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy time, man. So you got to have a purpose in your mind of all that we learning is to internal. If you say, Yahushua told us you got to believe when you pray, but then you pray unbelievingly, it's like, damn, I'm not really using the tools he's giving me access to and saying it's right here.
It's just as disrespectful, like when someone calls you on the phone, they called you and they're like, hey, hold up. And they're still talking to somebody or doing some shit. And you're like, yeah. And you're like, man, what the and you'll be all on hold basically with them for like a minute to 2 minutes. You're like, man, what the fuck is this bullshit? You know, like, why don't you call me back when you have time or something? Like, I'm picking up, you know what I'm saying? Consider that someone's picking up the phone on the other end. Like, you're asking of them their time. So, like you're saying, when you pray, like, without belief, You know, it's like that's why the Most High says, "Don't come to me with no faint ass hands." You know, don't come with faint hands, man. You gotta work. You know, you gotta be assured of what you're doing, and that's part of not being slothful. You know, it's just doing it, but doing it in complete assurance of hope unto the end, as the Scripture says. You know, showing that same diligence that our teachers have showed, that men of the Scriptures, the holy men of the Scriptures have shown. That's the example to follow, man.
As it says, we entered into men's work. If you're an apprentice to a master setter, a master cutter, a master anything, that master has put his name on you. That's why you're apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna take over his torch.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna hand that to you. He's gonna, in that master, when you're apprentice to, it's not a difference when you work for somebody. If you work for somebody, you work for somebody. But if a man says, "I'm gonna make you my apprentice," he says that I'm gonna teach you everything I know.
Yes.
You're gonna be able to do what I do, like it's my hand doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lord has made the hopeful elect apprentices, man.
Yep.
Heirs of the kingdom. That's why Yahushua said, "I call you no more servants.
Mm-hmm.
I call you friends." You know what I know. Well, the Father I tell to you. You know. And what is a part of that? The mark, man. That shows us right there that scripture was true. Because who gave that? Yahushua said, "I'm gonna send the Comforter to you."
Mm-hmm.
So he told us that. He said, "What the Father told me, now you know." And prophets didn't understand what they were writing. They didn't know what people were going to be lining up getting.
Exactly.
Now we knew the fullness of it. It's going to be a chip. It's going to be a microchip. Yahushua, hey, it's going to be the microchip. Don't take it. Don't take it. You know that scene in Batman where Flash comes back, then he screams at Batman and that small little soul. He's like, Lois is the key. Lois is the key, you know. And that was what helped Batman go and figure out how to bring Superman. It's just like the Lord yelling at us. Don't take the mark. Don't take the mark. It's the mark of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take it. If you could give somebody one emergency tip and all the things to help them save, imagine their walk was so crooked, but you could give them one thing to hopefully they can hold on to. Mm-hmm. That you could give them a cheat of what is it called, like to be a millionaire, that a lifeline.
Mm-hmm.
He gave us the one thing that we needed was that mark. Because if we don't get anything else, but we don't take that mark, we're in good standings, man.
Yeah.
We could be as corrupt, faulty. It says righteous man falleth 7 times. But if it comes to that mark and you in that mark and you know not to take that mark, then there's hope, man.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely correct. Hey, Rob, I got a precept for you. This is Jeremiah chapter 29, starting at verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end.
So he already told us. The best saying is the best way to tell the story is from the end.
Yeah, you got a lot of movie directors that do that, like Tarantino. He'll start sometimes from the end. Like Pulp Fiction, I think, starts at the end and then it runs it all back. Right. And it's a good way to tell a story. It's like, man, you're interested. You're like, what the hell's going on? How did the characters get here?
Didn't he make Kill Bill too? Didn't he make Kill Bill?
I think
Kill Bill starts like from the end or some weird shit like that too.
Yeah. Yes, the wedding scene. You just see the wedding scene, and then he just comes in. It's a violent, and and he makes when you start at the end, and the end is such a dramatic and sporadic thing. You like it catches you off guard. Like well, I gotta know what happened.
It draws you all the way in
because
now you know how this shit ends. So you know, okay, so how the fuck did this shit begin then? Yeah. Shit.
How do you make it? What do you make? I was used to wonder. Damn, how do you make? What did she do to make him so mad?
Yeah. Right.
That's what first thought in my head. Like, why is he so mad?
Kill her while she's pregnant, and you send a whole squad to come hit her.
Come on, man! I gotta know. I gotta know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you get closure in that process because that, when you go through all that, you understand what's being on. Like the scripture we brought out this past weekend, the Most High declares the end from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the brother said. Hey, a good movie, you see the ending first, and then. The rest catches up to it, basically.
Reading on, it says, this is verse 12. It says, "Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me and find me."
So the Lord said He's gonna hearken unto us. That's why I've been stating, and it's getting scary to the fact of we believe we know we're the sons of the Most High, and He's gonna. It even says in the scriptures that while we get asked, while we get are speaking, He's gonna answer us. That's the type of relationship he's gonna build with us, and He wants with us. It's not something we asked for. We could have been like, we just want to get in the kingdom, but He said no. He's gonna build a personal relationship with us. He's gonna hearken unto us. This is the same Father that held the Son 24 hours, defied what you would think of creation was. And Lord said, "What? Man, hold on, keep the Son up, so we could smite our enemies, man." That's why I said this is the patience of the saint. That same power is gonna give us that vigor to smite our enemies again, man. They're gonna get it, and they're gonna get it the worst this time, because this time you didn't just take us, you took who we was, man. Everything, man.
Yeah.
Buried us. Like when you see a stripped car, no tires, you can see a car that's jacked, but you see a car that's sitting on bricks, and they take the seats, the interior, they gut the thing out,
Everything.
the steering wheel. You just left the shell of us.
You just left the chassis. That's all. That's all that's left.
No, go ahead,
and then with that, it's okay. You did it, and you didn't release us. We had a period of time for the punishment. Okay, so and then they exceeded that punishment, which that's where they went wrong. That's where they fucked up at, and they're still exceeding it to this damn day.
They said they laid their yoke heavy.
Heavy.
They furthered the affliction.
Further the affliction, exactly.
It says, "Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart."
Your mind, your lob. That's a beautiful scripture, because mind is everything, man. Once you get, you beat the pork, you beat the adultery, you don't look at women no more, you know what I'm saying? You beat the lines up, you beat this, all the carnal things you can beat. You know, it's just like you go through the checkpoints, then you're looking around like, yeah. No, the battle's now, you just got the dust. The outside is the dust. Now you got to get to the hardest part, what's been fucking you over, is this thing right here, man. This thing, and you got to chip at that thing. It's the hardest. It says what? The whole head is sick. You are a sick individual, man. You're sick.
Petrifying wounds.
Oh man, boils.
Those petrifying wounds and sores. It said.
And it's that mind, man. That mind is an awful place. It's an awful place, and just knowing that, and then knowing to look back at it, you feel more sad about a mindset, because we say it now, man. A mindset is a terrible thing to have if it's off, man.
Yeah.
Like them damn heathens. They didn't think nothing was wrong what they did, bro. They thought nothing was wrong. We ain't gonna go into what these heathens, but the heathens did an act in front of us that we said was so heinous, we didn't move. I was shocked, man. But then they didn't see nothing wrong with it. That's the mentality of these people. They don't see nothing wrong with the lifestyle they live, the way they move, how they treat other people. They don't see it, man.
Yeah, but they looked at us like we was wrong for being offended by what they fucking did. Like, come on, man. You just did some weird. And I'm wrong for being offended? Like, what in the world? But yet still, we still have hope. Because, hey, them heathens, we're going to bust their heads for that shit, man.
Yeah.
We're going to bust their heads.
Verse 14, "And I will be found of you, saith the Lord, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations, and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Lord, and I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive."
He's saying, look, put it on me. The one thing about the Father, he takes, there's no undercutting. The Father said, look, I did it to you. We mad at Esau for it. Yeah, I sent Esau on you, but I did it to you. Esau's an afterthought. Esau's just the belt. You mad at the belt? Why don't you look at the hand behind the belt? Don't be mad at that. That belt did its job.
Exactly.
I made that belt strong and vicious. You gonna mess up any? Just like a father said, you gonna mess up anymore? You gonna do it again? No. That's where it'd be in the position of sorry, Pop. Sorry, Salakia. we're sorry, man. That's why it says come to the Father with that mourning, man.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm going to bring you again. I cast you off. I'm going to do. So everything that we have right now is of the Father doing it. He's saying, look, I'm building y'all up. I'm forging brotherhoods. I'm bringing Esau down. He's doing everything. So that's why I said sometimes we take too much on ourselves, man. You bear too much. Your mind's too heavy, man. No, stop. If you're in a roller coaster, you can't be like, damn it, go left. No, you can't do that. It's gonna go right. It's already meant to go right. So what are you stressing about looking at it?
As the scripture say, I cast ye your burdens upon me. You know what I'm saying?
Father got a strong back, man. It's like when you cry, man. Jake didn't just understand. Do you ever see pain in movies where they just sob, man? Or that time where they just, like, oh, I'm all right. Are you sure? And then they just hug them. And then what happens is that the cry and that burdens them, man. Like, man, put your burden on the Lord, man. Personal relationship. I'm sorry, Lord. You know what I'm saying? Damn, Lord, I'm sorry. And we're constantly going to mess up, but build a relationship through that hope. If you really have hope, you're going to build a relationship. If you believe it, you're going to build a relationship. It's not just you eating pork and doing all these other side carnal stuff, man. Your mind has to be focused. If you sitting there like, I ain't shit, but then the Lord's like, I need you to go ahead and do the work and feed my sheep, but then you constantly just, you ain't shit. This is becoming a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's becoming an issue, but you break yourself down. It's not to be up or prideful in your mind. It's just to say, look, I'm not shit. I'm just whatever the Lord give me today.
Mm-hmm. Keep you humble.
Yeah.
2nd Ezra chapter 14, verse 14.
Oh, 2nd Ezra 14, said?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let go from thee mortal thoughts and cast away the burdens of man.
One more time, all right.
Let go from thee mortal thoughts.
So he's saying, stop thinking the way mortal thoughts. That's why it says, your thoughts are not my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But you think something and think it's you. The Lord doesn't send. Oh man, I'm done. But it says let go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, one more time.
Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put
The
off
burdensome of man. What's the burdensome of man? That low vibration, depression shit, man.
The lust of the flesh. That's the burdens of men.
It's awful, man. It does a lot of damage. And I tell you this to say it's not something that's done easily, man. Because if you've been telling yourself that you're nothing for years and years and years, but then all of a sudden now, a couple days, you might tell yourself an hour out of the day, I'm not nothing. But then the rest of the 24, 3 hours in the day, you're back to I'm not nothing. It takes time. It takes time. And it says the Lord is giving us a fruitful spirit, man, in understanding, man.
Put off now the weak nature.
That's weakness, man. Because through your thoughts and your mind and not having that hope and fullness, you have a weak nature. It weakens you, man. It weakens you. That's why we've seen examples of that. Dudes that know the scriptures back and forth, up and down, left and right, side to side, history, they were broken in here. Because what happened? They started not loving the brotherhood, not doing this, not doing that. The things that they needed to do and be excellent at, they lacked on. They lacked on it, man. And then now it's like the Lord just pruned them out of there. That's why, man, it's a building up of a relationship, man, in your mentality and having that hope and believing. And we need it, bro. We need it. If you lack that hope, that's what the Lord took from us. His name is hope, and he took that away, and we didn't have nothing in slavery. We're just looking around calling on anything, man.
Calling on Massa.
We lost so much, we just took Massa's what he ate us. We started eating it and believing it.
Yeah.
It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times.
And it says the thoughts that are heavy unto thee, unto you. Each of us are different. So let go of the thoughts that are heavy. So if you have a heavy thought in your mind, something that's bearing you down and holding on to you, let that go. Let that go, man. And put it on the Lord and let the hope come in. And it's a day-to-day thing to be like, okay, another day. If he lets you breathe that day and lets you go that day, that's another day to be better. Another day to be better for the Lord. Do more videos. You know, be better a brother, man. A better father. You know, you ain't got to be like, yeah, father of the year, but just, you know, be a better father. It said don't be a lion over in that household.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, the 9th chapter, starting at verse 14. All right, it says, "For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable."
What it say?
For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable.
So he's saying, and this is not, don't, eating pork is miserable. Of course, this is off, but this is, it miserfies you, man. That's why Paul said it. He said, my members, there's no good thing, man. There's no good thing in this flesh. This same flesh had you out there, man. This same flesh had you doing all types of shit. Didn't even qualm. The only time now is when it's truth. You can see the separation in thoughts, the good and the bad. Before it was all one. It was all one. You would have been like, damn, I don't want to do this, but you didn't know why you didn't want to do it. Now you can put that line, just like that line in this, you can see it. You know when you cross it. You're like, fuck. It's a lot, you know, we don't want to be, you know, that rude speech, but you say it in yourself like,
It says, "For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain."
Because half the time the thoughts you have never come to pass.
It says, "For the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weigheth down the mind that gazeth upon many things."
Go back. What did you?
The water. It's like it. It says, "For the corruptible body presseth down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weigheth down the mind."
So it's showing you a separation between the earthly tabernacle and your mind. The earthly tabernacle weigheth down your mind. That's what weighing you down. The earthly tabernacle weighing your spirit down. It's weighing it down. It's holding it down. So if you excel in everything else in this walk, but then your earthly mind is miserable and tortured, what kind of walk is that?
Yeah, you're hoping in carnal things. You're hoping in, you know, America coming back into power to, you know, go back to normal, quote unquote, what is normal. And the scriptures tell you that what's it say? Woe to them that call wicked good and good evil.
Yeah.
You know, evil good and yeah. You know, so that's what these people want. That carnal mind. Their hope is in carnal things. You know, they don't see it as the Most High, which is a husbandman. That you got to have more throwaway material to produce good fruit. You know, what did it say? It took 100 years to create 1 inch of topsoil in Washington.
Yeah. 1 inch.
So how much material has to be grown and get destroyed and fall and shitted out and walked over and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much has to grow in order for that fruit, that
Just
precious
that.
fruit? You see what I'm saying? So it's gonna take time for the elect to be sealed, but we're at the last of that time, because Ezra was always asking the disciples asked, "Are you coming now to restore the time?" It's like the Most High has His time in His own measure. You know what I'm saying? It's just gonna take some time, but here it is. We're at the end because we know the chip's coming. And that's a great signifier of the end. That lets us know that, look, the Most High, He's that last like sweeping thing that He's got to do to see who's left is just put that chip out there.
Yeah, because that's when he's filling his belly. And it tells you when he's about to fill his belly, that's when the Most High is going to strike his ass down.
Yep, when the wicked's about to fill his belly, yep.
In the fullness of His sufficiency.
He shall be in straits.
That's
It
right.
makes
You'll be delivered in the 7th trumpet, like it says in Job.
and it then makes it, you know what I just thought about it when you said the foliage that has to die and come down, just like these fallouts are like the leaves that fall out to fertilize the growth of that actual tree, and they always stay around. Just like a leaf that falls down, it falls right by the tree.
Yeah.
Or that fruit that falls down, the fruit helps too. The fruit, it adds that.
Hey, I gotta read this now. There's a second. There's a second Ezra chapter 4, and we'll start at verse 35.
35? Yep, got you.
It says, "Did not the souls also ask of?" So like it did not the souls also of the righteous ask Salakia. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask question of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope on this fashion? When cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward? And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seeds is fulfilled in you, for he hath weighed the world in the balance. By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled.
You know what that remind me of? Like if someone's cooking and it's a specific recipe that they're following, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not no matter what's going on in that oven, I'm not removing it from the oven until this specific time has passed to be able to move it to make sure that this dish comes out the proper way that is you know, prepped for it.
Yep.
You know?
Verse 38. Then answered I and said, O Lord that bearest rule, even we all are full of impiety. And that's basically the opposite of pious, or the opposite of devout. That's what impiety is. It says, and for our sakes peradventure it is that the floors of the righteous are not filled, because of the sins of them that dwell upon the earth. So he answered me and said, go thy way to a woman with child, and ask of her when she hath fulfilled her 9 months, if her womb may keep the birth any longer within her.
Just like you just said, a recipe. Just like the day of the Lord is the recipe.
Yep.
And he has a time on it.
And
Just
no
like, you know,
one-
them old certain cooks, you look at it and be like, man, how you know when it's done? I know when it's done.
Smell it.
You know, you like, you know, and they'll taste it. That's just like he'll taste that, you know. He'll see where it's at, how the herbs are melding, how it's cooking with that heat and that, you know, tasting us. And that's the body.
Yep.
That's the body. That's all of us. And then, okay, this needs a little bit more salt. You know, we need a little bit more herbs in it. And the Lord's got it. And then Yahushua's like, is it done yet? No. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. You gotta wait till it's done.
I just the definition of impiety off of Google. It says the lack of piety or reverence, especially for a god.
What is reverence? Fear. Right. You know, a good fear though.
Verse 41, 2 Ezra 4:41. Then said I, no, Lord, that she cannot. And he said unto me, in the grave the chambers of souls are like the womb of a woman. For like as a woman that travaileth maketh haste to escape the necessity of the travail, even so do these places haste to deliver those things that are committed unto them. From the beginning, look what thou desirest to see, it shall be showed to thee. That's pretty much the point, because that's the end of that. But just kind of showing that it's the same thing. Everything's gonna you got to just hope in the process, you know, and just trust in that process. Like, what does the scripture say? For what is hope is the evidence of things not seen.
Faith.
Or what is faith?
Hebrews 11 and 1.
What is faith? Faith is I actually get it before we butcher it. Yeah, get it.
Yeah, the evidence of things not seen. Yeah. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for. You know, the evidence of things not seen, man. So, you know, that's heavy. You can't hasten or shorten anything according to our will. It's up to the Most High how that's going to go down. But He knows it in perfect measure. He knows it in exact time. You know, we're the creature subject unto Him. You know, we're just like the brother said, man. Hey, we got to stay committed to the right things and the right minds. There's plenty of examples on what not to do and how not to be. So, you know, this should be a light work. You know, and hope shouldn't be something that should flee, and it's not going to flee from the elect. As scary of a thing as it'll be, it's still going to be your default method. You know, for everything. Like when all shit hits the fan, you know, we're building up our default method to be on the right-handed side of hope and faith and trust, the name, and you know all of this rehearsal. Otherwise, what do you rehearse for? You join the military or something, become a firefighter, a cop, whatever. You get all this training so that when shit happens, you're just reactionary in that training. You're just like boom, boom, boom. It's just go, go, go.
They said some of the greatest sport. They said some of the greatest sports athletes. They said man, they did a study on it. They said the zone. They said they call it the zone. They like, you know, when in sports they ask them people to like break records. You know, they have that record breaking game, or they have that record breaking moment, that world record setting moment. They said, man, how'd you feel, man? What was you thinking? And might even ask MJ. They said that I wasn't. It was like a felt of calm, and you know, it was just like it's almost like it was on autopilot.
You can feel it. You can feel it.
Even when you can see it. You can see some of those. Go back and see some of those moments when you see those people do those. It's almost like it's effortless.
Yep.
Everything is hitting on. They're doing their trade perfectly.
That's
They're hitting they don't think about it. They say, man, it's almost like you feel warm. You know what I'm saying? They can describe the feeling of it, but they can't describe what they're thinking. They said it's like my mind is blank. You know, so it's like you want to have that feeling and let the spirit take over. You know, they said the most times when people, we even said it earlier, when people start and asking when you start flinching up.
Yeah.
If you just let it happen, you know, if you don't try to tense up on it, man.
You're less likely to get injured when you go with it instead of trying to fight it and control where you're gonna go. That's when you're gonna hurt yourself.
So we're gonna let the spirit take over. Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of that time. Just like now, when the pandemic hit, it was a sort of okay, what you gonna do? You know, like well, and then we gotta stay to the script. All right. Okay, wise as a serpent. Okay, we gotta do this. We moving through it. Oh, you gotta wear a mask. We still moving through. We still going out and teaching. So the Lord seen what we did with just a little jab at us of hell. You know, this has been uncomfortable.
Yeah,
you brothers all know that shit's uncomfortable. We talk about it. It's like, man, damn. But this is the Lord throwing something at us, and then seeing how we take it on the chin, how we move with it, and then go back. You know, just like a pops, you training with your son. There's gonna be a time you have to hit your son. You have to hit him.
Yeah.
Bam. You know, and then he'll oh snap.
Oh shit! My hand was down. You got your guard down.
Yeah,
Put your guard up.
Yeah.
You don't get smacked in your face every time.
Yeah,
Keep your guard up.
Yeah, just like your pops going, come on, man, come on, get that. He's not hitting you to hurt you. He's hitting you to prepare you.
Yeah, experience.
Come on, man. Your pops is rooting for us. Just like you a world like Mayweather seeing his son. They may get into it, but he proud as hell of his son, man. My son's a champion. My son's a champion. You know, that's what you that's a father looking at his son. You want him to be a champion. So you don't think the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua is not looking at the elect, wanting them to be the champions? Giving them everything, set it up to let them be the champs, man. That's gonna be a heavy crown on the world. It said the world gonna look and know.
He said, how do you grieve your enemy, man? By teaching your children, right? So why would he tell us that and he not teach us? Who's the Most High's enemy? Esau, Edom,
the
wicked, you know. So why wouldn't he teach us his ways to grieve them, you know?
Colossians 1:27, to whom the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai will make known what is the riches of his glory, which y'all was just speaking about, of this mystery among the Gentiles, which in Mashiach is in you, the hope of glory. Okay, it's for the Israelite foreigners, whom we preach, warning every man and teaching every man in all wisdom, that we may present every man perfect in the Mashiach Yahweh.
Hey, so that's what you see, man. We're being made perfect, man. We're being prepped. We're being every hell we catch, every disrespect you take. You know, just like even the job I work now, you know, I'm like, man, damn, I really don't trip off of people telling me no or looking at me crazy, because I've sort of been doing something that people I really don't, that shit's out the window. Yeah. You might take it to a point of it be like, okay, I gotta do things in the world and maintain. You can't just come to a job and be like, whatever. You gotta have that little bit of thing, but at the end of it, you don't trip off of what people really think. You know, it's just like, and people notice that. People can tell that. They can vibe like, dang.
Confidence, yeah. With faith.
You meet certain people. I meet certain people where you be like, damn, you gotta act a certain way. I really don't act. I just act myself, and people respect that more than anything.
Mhm.
They know you show them a similitude. I guess that's the word of respect.
Mm-hmm.
But they know you're being yourself. Like, damn, he's not being over. People can sense over respectful. Like, damn, man,
Yeah,
shit.
brown nose.
Mhm.
They fucking hate that shit. Like, come on, man.
And another thing is that when you're yourself, when they interact with you, you're always the same. There's a consistency in the way you do things, your mannerisms. Just like, and he's always like that. Yeah, because he's not fucking fake. You know, and then they can see through cats because one time they're cool with him, next time they're looking at him sideways, another time they, oh, what's up, man? You know, and they're like, man, this dude's wishy washy, man. I
How
can't
you
deal with
doing?
that.
They'll get you with the, you doing okay today? Because then now they got to gauge your realness. Oh,
Yeah.
this is the real nigga.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I say. You want to be one real, not two real.
Mm-hmm.
Just be one real, man. Be two real.
Yeah.
So, like it says, you know, this is just something we just wanted to touch on hope and give, you know, a motivation, man. Our Father wants us to win, man. If we are part of that number, that hope of the at the end of the day, Israel's gonna win.
That's right.
Israel's gonna win because Yahweh already won. But this is for us to just, you know, man, that hope is an important thing. And I seen that. I seen it today. Just like, man, the beautiness of the world, and it's almost the world has just been waiting. The world hasn't been experienced. It's like a big car that's been under a covering, collecting dust, and it's not moved. It's not moved since we have not been behind that wheel. It's not been driven right. You know, this man let the belt slip, drop down, the motor, transmission's done, sitting there chilling, being just broken down, man. And Lord come in, and you know, I always the scene in the movie, I always see it. They take the cover off of that thing, you know. You see it's dusty, but you can tell it's that car, and then you clean it up. You put what it else in it, and the Lord gonna crank this thing up, and He gonna, just like you give your son a car. You know, you give your son the car, even, you know, oh, that's Pop's whip, man. Damn, that's the exclusive. He loves that car, and all of a sudden, you know, the Pops hands you the keys, put it in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, what? This for real? This mine? Yeah. So those are moments we have carnally. How much more the Lord gonna do it spiritually, man? This car is gonna be driven, man, in this paradise, man. You know, so those that don't want to call on the Father, they don't want to attain to the mark, they don't want to prepare themselves. I feel bad, man. You know, you don't, but you just feel the type of way, like, damn, man. They're not even prepping
Why
themselves.
won't they just freaking listen, man?
Yeah.
All they gotta do is listen.
Or go out to the wilderness with no damn lamp. Like, fuck is you doing out there, man?
What is you doing out there? You can't see nothing. And nigga, don't be following me. Shit. I ain't got nothing for you.
You gonna come on this trip, but you ain't gonna pack drawers, my guy?
You know you need a coat, right? You know it's cold out there. You need a coat. You need a coat. You know?
My dude, you cannot wear sandals trying to climb this mountain. You in flip flops trying to climb the mountain.
You didn't think about the gas money you was gonna need, man? Halfway down your trip, you realize now that you need gas money?
Yeah. So you brothers got anything?
Quick one. This is Ecclesiasticus 2:10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? Yes, meaning the Most High is proven. Right, when you read these scriptures, you can see that the Most High is faithful in His word, and He comes through with everything that He said He does, that He's going to do. He does. He's not a man that He should lie, and when He comes and He says that He's going to deliver those that believe, and those that refuse the mark, and those that have faith in His name, then He's going to do that, right? Because He's been proven, and we have faith in that through, like it says, the generations of old. Where do we find that out? By reading these scriptures and seeing the faith that David had, you know, when he was delivered into a chariot while his enemies attacked him. Like that, if you believe that happened, you can believe that He's going to do that again. You know, and that's the faith, and that's that mark that the Most High is looking for on those men. is that faith.
When say go with me a little bit, and I'll take it the rest. As the Lord said, just go with me a little bit. Walk. With the smartest thing one of the wisest things said, don't try harder than somebody else, because then you're not doing them a justice.
Mm.
Don't ever try harder than somebody else. If somebody shows you a little bit, then it's on you to go wherever you want to go. If somebody's like, man, they're trying, they show you just a little smidget. You know, that's the best way, because then it's like, okay, they're trying. They want to come towards this. We're in a world that is dedicated to wickedness. At every turn, dedicated, wholly dedicated. Just like the brother Mike Allah brought out about that the Rothschild or the DuPont or whatever that he had that quote. He said at every point they turn, it's poison. Everything they do is for their destruction. Like this man has built a world of death. For who? For us.
Mm.
For us to break the law and for us to do things that are bringing death.
So they can accuse us.
Yeah, they can say, see.
So for us to go that for trying, where you got your mom, that's why it says, it's hurtful to say, but then the Lord will hit you with that. Put your own say you're gonna love mother and father more than me, because technically he borrowed them, but you gonna love. That's a hard one to, his brothers have experienced that. Man, kudos, man.
Hey, the scripture tells you that love is it says, let us not love in deed or in action, or let us not love in word or in tongue, but in deed and in truth.
Mm-hmm.
Which lets you know that love is an action. Love is obedience. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, yeah, are you going to listen to your mom and your father more than me? Like, and that might boggle someone's mind, because they're like, well, shit, my mom and my dad physically brought me into this world. Yeah, but the Most High knew you from the womb.
Before them.
So it's like, yeah, he knew you before them. So, yeah, you got to pick and choose who are you going to obey. You gotta hope that, because some people, to them it's a major crapshoot. They're like, man, I don't know. Mama said, Daddy said, but there's this guy about, in this book. I don't know nothing about that. I'm gonna stick with Mama. Someone's gonna stick with Mama, man.
Yeah, I spoke about that when they asked him about why his disciples was eating before washing their hands or whatnot.
Yeah.
He was like, man, you guys are being hypocrites, because you're following these traditions of the elders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're following these more than you're actually following the word of the Heavenly Father. Following and making for doctrine the commandments of men.
You gotta think, Yahushua was the one that gave them the law in the wilderness, and then turn around. Was he not walking with his disciples on the Sabbath picking corn?
Yeah.
It was like they came up to him, hey, what you doing up?
Yeah.
They want to
I
kill
gave
you.
I gave.
Numerous
Is that the
times.
fact? And then he poured him out. He said, what David do?
Yeah, the Sabbath is
The
made.
showbread.
The Sabbath is made for man, not man for the Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rest day, man. So yeah, that goes just back to hope. Like, hey, hope and faith, man.
Yeah, go ahead. Y'all want to go out on it, or we're gonna keep going?
Yeah, we'll close out.
Close out on
That's
that.
it,
That's
brother.
one uplifting.
What you got?
Psalm 71. 14.
Yeah.
It says, but I will hope continually, and will yet praise thee more and more. My mouth shall show forth thy righteousness and thy salvation all the day. For I know not the numbers thereof. I will go in the strength of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. I will make mention of thy righteousness, even of thine only. O power, thou hast taught me from my youth.
From my youth, from little. And he said, how did he teach us in these days? Why do you think every brother, the majority of brothers in truth have, even if you have a age separation, you have certain things that all link us with certain things that we learn unknowingly, like Dragon Ball Z, from different things and cartoons we watch, from different shows, from different songs that we listen to. He was always there. He never let us alone, man. He was always there, giving us little niches, letting us be in the world, but always making sure to keep something in us with this truth, to sow in us. And even like I always been saying, put the pill in the meat, he always slipped Israel there in a way while we were around out doing what we was doing. Always something to keep us when we would go back. It was like breadcrumbs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's gotta be hard to watch the ones you love go through pain like that, man. It's gotta be hard. You can't tell me it's not. Because what happened when the Lord asked David, what judgment do you want? David chose the angel. He said, let me fall into your hands. And the angel went down, and the father said, no, whoa, repented of it. So who wants to see his love? That shows us that you can, you get in like the fire and doom spirit and be like, man, dang, all the Lord want to do is destroy this. No, he said he's going to build us up, man, and give us a kingdom. He said it's his good pleasure to give us the kingdom.
And hitherto have I declared thy wonderful works. Now also when I am old and gray-headed, O power, forsake me not, until I have shown thy strength unto this generation, and thy power to everyone that is to come. The righteous also, O power, is very high, and has done great things. O power, who is like unto thee? Thou which hast shown me great sore troubles, shall quicken me again, and shall bring me up again from the depths of the earth.
So quicken me again means to make me alive again. You know, we're here to do a job, and we'll be here as long as we need to do that job. And then once our purpose is fulfilled, then we'll leave. But we're gonna return. He says he's quicken us again. You know, so that's our everlasting power. That's part of our hope, man. You know. And that's it.
You want to decide, bro?
Hey, until next time, Shalom.
Shalom. Hold on.